a row, you guys have had a big second half. I mean, what's the key this time around?
Two things. I thought we had a big first half. In reality, if you watch what they did on offense, they threw it up. That was what they had in the first half. I said, if we don't allow them to throw the ball up, they had nothing in the first half. Our defense played good in the first half, except we didn't play the ball in the air. In the second half, much better, except for the last one. But really, all their points are attributed to throwing the ball. And offensively, I think we only stopped ourselves when we did get it. I really thought that Coach Kelly had a great game plan. I thought he executed extremely well. And we wore them out. And I'll tell you the other place, I talked to you before, I said it, special teams played as well as we played, with except the extra point that hit the upright, which had me concerned. But I think overall it was probably the best football game we played by far this year.
Wow. So where does this put you guys in the national scene, in the conference scene?
It puts us in that if we win next week, we're in a pretty good position. They need to enjoy it tonight. They've worked hard. They've overcome. I told our senior, I'm so proud of the leadership that they've shown and what they've done to get us back to a point where we're playing extremely meaningful games now the rest of the way in. And I think that the future's in our hands. What we want to do with it is up to us. So have a good week of practice. We get Montana State at home. They're undefeated. We'll see what we can do against the other Montana school.
Yeah, Chris Brown. It looked like he was limping at the end of the game. Was there an update on it? Okay.
He's going to be fine, but he just couldn't get rid of the cramps. And at that point, I mean, and like I said, it's unfortunate. We're fortunate, however you look at it. Dano's a great player. I mean, he's got such moxie and such toughness and guts. And, we were real confident that put him in the game, Dano will finish the game. I thought it was cool that Coach T tried to get him in the end zone there at the end, too.
Chris's rushing total ends up being a Cal Poly record for quarterbacks. He was close to it before last year. I think it was at Sac State or Davis, one of the two. 240 something or 50 something around that range for yards. I mean, did you realize it was getting that high?
Yeah, well, we knew he was getting big chunks. But the one thing I really liked about how smart he was as far as taking hits today, he took a couple, but for the most part, he was smart on how he played too, and that's going to help save his body. Cramps are from running 244 yards on a grass field. There's probably cramps, but he really had. I thought he played it. He was so focused coming into the game. I had no doubt that he was going to play a great game.
Is there any way, or did they fail to adjust to his scrambling on those? And are those design drawbacks where he drops back and then runs?
That's for us to use to know, and you guys to figure out. The bottom line thing is he's playing extremely intelligently now, and he's playing within who he is, which is important. And when you rush for as many yards as we rush for against that defense, our offensive line tonight. And we got a lot, Matt Fisher's out, Derek Sabo's out, Ross Berry's out, Cal Zotnick can't play anymore. Those guys, Steven Sipple goes down and gets up and says, I'll play. He knows. Enriquez hurt his ankle again, played. They showed some toughness, and not only toughness, grit, and the execution was phenomenal by those guys. So they got to give them a lot of credit. And I think our defensive line probably played their best game too.
I heard some of your fans had chanted overrated. Is that the case? Was Montana overrated at all?
Maybe we're underrated, who knows? I think that'll all come out in the wash when it's all said and done. That's going to be a tough loss for them. But I mean, I think we're tough to defend for them for whatever reason. I think that people right now are having a tough time defending all the stuff that we're able to do, including throwing it. We didn't throw for a lot of yards, but we showed them we were going to throw the ball and throw it over their heads a couple of times too. So I think overall, we're executing an offense the way we think we're capable of executing an offense. And if we continue to put up the numbers we're putting up, I think it's pretty impressive against the opponents we're putting up against, especially that. I think that's the best defense in the league. I mean, North Dakota State had 24 against them.
Talk about the energy that you guys kind of fed off from the stadium.
Well, I think this was a game we were going to have energy. We didn't even talk a lot about energy. I was more concerned that matching their energy with their intensity as far as understanding what they're supposed to do football-wise. But the point is, when you get the opportunity, I told them before the game, I said, when you go in there, there's going to be 11,000 people in there. You know why? Because of what you guys have accomplished. And they fed off, you're right, you come out here and to see 11,000 people here supporting them in a game like this, they were extremely excited. I think just to probably to another level.
I think about a month ago, going into southern Utah, you would admit to the guys that you weren't having a whole lot of fun. You having fun now?
Well, there's no question what they're doing. I mean, I can't put it in words enough to their resolve to say we're going to be better than we played the first 2 weeks. And it's added to our excitement as a coaching staff. Our coaching staff is Josh Brown and Saga, and the offensive defense staff are doing a tremendous job. But bottom line thing, our players are coming to practice to win football games on Saturday night. And they're taking them one by one. And if we continue to do that, great things are going to happen. And obviously, we will be smiling a lot more in San Luis Obispo.
Coach, you pick up this win tonight without Chris Nichols. How good is your offense playing right now? How much better can they get?
Well, I think we can still get better. You know, I mean, we punted a couple times tonight. You know, so but the one thing we're not doing, we're not turning the ball over, which is huge, and we're really possessing the clock. If you look at the amount of plays we ran tonight and our tempo that we played with, those are all the things we challenged our guys really after South Dakota State, was that we can play with a faster tempo. That's when we're best. That's when we get teams scrambling a little bit, and that's when we wear people out. And that's what we're doing right now on a pretty consistent basis.
What'd you see on that touchdown run by Dano at the end of the game? I mean, he kind of got up kind of quick on the play before. It looked like he had a little chip going into that play. And what'd you see on that play?
What everybody saw, that's Dano Graves. He's probably one of the most competitive young people. I mean, he is so. I was concerned that he was going to try to do too much. We had the game won. Let's just run the clock out and get out of here. But he was going to make a play. And Coach Tuatelli really wanted to say thank you to Dano for accepting his role on the team, because we went in and said him and Chris are even. Chris is really separated, you know, just by his play. You know, there's no way that he's coming out. And Dano got his opportunity. We were able to get him in the end zone. And we have all the confidence in the world in him too. But he's a tough son of a gun, a great competitor.
Seems like you guys also tackled in the open field pretty well tonight. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Start every practice right now with open field tackling. That's where we start on defense. Right after stretch, we go right to open. It's called our opener. And in the past, we've done pursuit drills, done a bunch of different things. Now, Coach Brown's got them doing open field tackling every single day. And you're, Cam Ocko,
yeah,
fantastic.
Cool. Thanks, Coach.